When you join WPA, you can choose how pre-existing conditions are dealt with by selecting how you are underwritten. You'll have the choice of either moratorium underwriting or full medical underwriting. It's important that you understand the difference between the two types of underwriting so the right choice can be made for you and anyone else on your cover. If multiple people are joining at the same time, each individual is free to choose the underwriting term that's best suited to them, as long as they meet the joining criteria. To fully understand the choice of underwriting, we must first explain what we mean when we talk about a pre-existing condition. A pre-existing condition is defined as any disease, illness or injury for which you've received medication advice or treatment, or have experienced symptoms, whether the condition has been diagnosed or not, before the start of your cover. Deferment periods will also apply on certain products when you're applying for health insurance for the first time and not switching from another insurer. The deferment periods are typically the first 2 weeks after the start date of your membership, where any symptoms or conditions experienced during this time are considered to be pre-existing. Let's take our new member Hannah as an example. Prior to joining WPA, Hannah had been experiencing back pain. Although she hasn't been to see a doctor about this yet, Hannah's back pain is considered a pre-existing condition, even though she hasn't received a diagnosis, as this was experienced before the start date of her cover. Pre-existing conditions, related conditions, and undiagnosed symptoms will all be considered when we review an application, and personal exclusions may be applied if appropriate. These exclusions are specific terms that we may apply based on either your lifestyle, your medical history, or your family's medical history, and will appear on your certificate of registration. When you are on cover with WPA, you won't be able to make a claim for any symptom or condition that relates to any personal exclusion. The application will guide you through the information we require. When joining on a moratorium underwriting basis, there's no need to tell us about your full medical history. When and if you make a future claim, we will ask questions about your medical history and may request more detailed information from your GP or specialist at that point. If you join on a moratorium basis, we are unable to provide any benefit in the first 2 years for any pre-existing condition that occurred in the 5 years before your cover started. Remember, this also includes undiagnosed symptoms. If you remain clear from a pre-existing condition, for example, you don't have symptoms, treatment, medication or advice for the condition for 2 continuous years after your cover started, benefit towards a claim for this pre-existing condition will be considered. This is the 2-year moratorium period. If we go back to our new member, Hannah decided to join WPA on a moratorium basis. She didn't need to declare information in relation to her back pain, which she was suffering from when she completed her application form. If Hannah wanted to make a claim for back pain in the first 2 years with us, this would not be covered. Once Hannah is free from back pain, has not taken medication, had any treatment or received any advice for more than 2 consecutive years, this would then be covered under the terms of her health insurance. If you want certainty at the point of joining as to what will be covered, you may choose to join on a full medical underwriting basis. At the point of application, you will be required to answer questions about your medical and family history, your height and weight, and your lifestyle. We may choose to apply personal exclusions for your pre-existing conditions. This means that you wouldn't be able to claim for a pre-existing condition, as well as any related conditions and symptoms. Let's take another look at our newest member. Hannah decided to join WPA on a fully underwritten basis. On her application, she declared that she'd been suffering from back pain. This information was submitted to our medical underwriting team for review to decide whether a personal exclusion for back pain would be necessary. Any personal exclusions will be communicated prior to your policy starting. Thank you for listening, and if you have any queries regarding our underwriting options, please don't hesitate to get in touch.